Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another gadget that I think you're going to really like. It's from our friends over at Bluetti, and it's the MaxOak 500 watt-hour portable power station. Now, I spend a lot of time on the channel reviewing drones and a lot of other high-tech gear, and lately, I've reviewed a few of these portable power stations because if you're like me and you spend a lot of time outdoors, whether you're flying your drone or you're hiking or you're camping, you're always looking for places that you could recharge all of the electronic devices you brought along for the day. And it's really hard to find an outlet somewhere in the woods. So having a portable power solution like this with you that allows you to very easily plug in your drone batteries, your controller, your phone, your tablet, your portable camera, and recharge those really allows you to extend that afternoon. Now, before I get too deep into the review, and in the spirit of full disclosure, Bluetti did send me this model for review. But they didn't do that just because I'm a nice guy, even though I am. They actually saw me reviewing a bunch of other portable power stations, and it's a very competitive market, so they said, hey Rick, we got a really cool product. We'd love for you to run it through its paces and put a clip together and let your viewers know about it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Now, I have to apologize to the Bluetti team because I got this a couple of months ago, and we got busy over Christmas, and quite honestly, it's such a cool product that I've been using it out in the field, recharging my drone batteries and running lamps and things when it gets dark, that I didn't get to the review right away. So it took me longer than I expected to get this review done, and I'm so sorry. I promise you I'm much better with reviewing products. But anyway, today's the day. So I've had it out in the field for 2 months, 2+ months, and I've done everything you can do with this product. I've recharged my drone batteries. I've recharged every type of portable device you can think of. I've charged the device from my car. I've charged it at home. I've charged it with a solar panel. And I'm here to tell you, I don't think I could do a much more extensive testing in the field than I've done in this product. So I'm going to give you all those details in a little bit. But before I get too deep into the review again, I wanted to start with an unboxing because when you look at portable power stations like this, a lot of the companies that sell them will try to get a good price to lure you in, and there's not a lot of extra stuff. And the problem is when you buy it, all of a sudden you're thinking, well, wait a minute, how do I charge it from my car? Or how do I charge it from a solar panel? Or what does this do? Bluetti is one of those companies that thought about what you're going to do with this product, and they've included pretty much every connection you need to charge it and to charge devices from it. So they've really put a complete kit together. So I want to start with an unboxing just to show you all the goodies that are included with the box, and then I'll take a much closer look at the unit. I'll explain what all the accessories do, and specifically what you can expect from this product, because I don't think there's anything out there, unless you're arc welding in the field or something, that you can't plug into this. As long as you keep it under that 500 watt hours, or actually under 300 watt hours, you'll be able to charge everything you want. So we'll start with the unboxing, then I'll do a closer look at it, and then I'll come back and explain some of the features that really separate this particular model from a lot of the other models that I've tested. And believe me, I've actually purchased a couple of these that I've returned because I found issues with them. These guys have thought of everything. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you pop open the box, you're going to find the portable power station. They even include a really nice carrying bag for it, so it's kind of weatherproofing it if you take it out camping with you. There's 3 ways to charge the device. You can charge it at home with this charger. You plug it into the wall. They include a wall cord with it. You can charge it from your car. And again, as I mentioned, a lot of the companies that sell these don't include these other 2 accessories. So this allows you to plug this into your accessory outlet in the car, plug this in the back of it, and charge it up from your car. And then finally, they actually include a cord that allows you to charge it from a standard solar panel connection, which is right here. So those 3 things are really important when you're comparing this to other portable power solutions. They also include a warranty card, a full instruction manual that tells you everything you could possibly know about this particular product. And then finally, which is a really nice touch, they include a USB-C to USB-C charging cable. Now, you probably have 100 cables laying around the house to charge your phone, your tablet, and your camera, but isn't that nice that they give you a USB-C cable? Because again, I'm going to get into this in a minute, but on the front of this, you can charge portable devices through one of the 4 USB-A ports, which are standard USB ports, or a PD USB-C port, which is what all the newer devices charge from. So I'll get into that in a minute. So stay tuned, and next I'll take a closer look at all these components. I'll slow down a little bit and explain exactly what they do, and then I'll come back at the end. You can tell I'm excited and talk about some of the features that really make this a pretty special portable power solution. First, I'll take a closer look at all of the accessories included with the kit, and then I'll move on to the portable power station. Let's start with your charging options. There are 3 ways you can actually charge the product: at home, in your car, or with a portable solar panel. Charging it at home is by far the quickest and most popular way. It'll fully charge the unit in about 6 to 7 hours, depending on how much it's depleted. The car charger will take a little bit longer, and the solar panels will take longer still, depending on how big a solar panel you're using and how much sunshine there is out that day. The home charger is a heavy-duty DC power supply that'll provide 27.5 volts at 3¼ amps. It comes with a standard AC cord. You'll plug this into any wall outlet. The other end plugs into the side of the unit. You'll also find the other end has a DC 7909 connector on it. This plugs into the back of the unit, and that'll charge it up fully. When you first plug this in and it's going through a charge cycle, this indicator will come on red, letting you know it's charging the unit. Once it's fully charged, that will turn green, letting you know you're ready to go. The car charger is pretty straightforward. Again, this will plug into any accessory outlet in your car. This end has the DC 7909 connection on it. Plug it into the back of the unit, and you're ready to go for charging. Finally, the solar panel charger again has the same DC 7909 connection on it, and standard connections on this end for the solar panel. You can use a wide variety of solar panels to provide the electricity to charge this unit. And the nice part is the input on the unit itself will accept voltages, DC voltages, between 14 and 40 volts. So you can use a wide variety of devices connected up to this from a solar panel perspective to actually charge the unit. Also included is a warranty card to let you know exactly how long the warranty is, including a serialized barcode on here so that it's tied to your unit. You also get a full instruction manual that explains everything you need to know about the unit, how to charge it, what the indicators mean, what the connections look like. I'd mentioned the USB-C connection on it before. I think this is really nice they include this, but it's a standard USB-C to USB-C. This can be used with the PD connection on the front to charge any device that can charge through a USB-C cable. And then finally, they include a really nice case. It's more of a bag, really, that you can unzip, put the unit inside of it. It's got a couple of straps on here that you can hold on to it, and it'll protect it against rain and getting wet when you're outside. Because if you're taking this out in the field with you, if you're camping or you're hiking, you want to make sure that you keep it nice and dry. And I think it's a really nice touch that they've included a bag. Now stay tuned and we'll talk about the portable power station next. The portable power station's available in a few different colors, but I really like the orange model because it's extremely visible, which means I can take it with me, set it down in a field, even in tall grass, and never lose sight of it. The internal chassis of the product is made from a high-impact ABS plastic, which makes it lightweight and really durable, and they've surrounded that inner chassis with this rubber bushing on the outside to add shock absorption. And I like that a lot, because some of the units we tested were made out of plastic, and the challenge there is it may seem okay initially, but if you set it down a few times on dirt or rocks, it's going to get scratched up, and if you drop it, you're going to crack the case. So having this rubber ring on the outside means the electronics inside are always going to be protected. Now the unit itself has a flat top, and that's different than a lot of the models we tested that had fixed handles on there where you carry them around with the handle. And it's nice because the flat top allows you to pack it away a little bit easier. It's almost like a cube. So if you throw it in the back of your car, you can put stuff on top of it. Having a handle makes it a little bit more difficult, but if you do need to carry it, you basically just lift up the two handles and you've got a really nice handle to carry it around. And when you're done, you fold them down, you get a nice flat surface here. The other reason that's important is that this surface is a wireless charging surface. So if you've got a device like an iPhone that can charge wirelessly, if you turn on the power and turn on the DC and you lay your phone down there, watch what happens. Boom, it starts charging. So the folks at Bluetti have thought of everything. They've used every surface in this to give you options to charge your devices. So I like that an awful lot. Now that wireless charging is up to 10 watts up top there. So it's really convenient that if you sit down after a long afternoon of hiking or flying and put your phone down, it's just going to start charging. Let's take a look at the front of the unit because that's where all the connections are made. The first thing you're going to notice are three power buttons on the left-hand side. There's a main power button, a DC power button, and an AC power button. And I like that because some of the units we tested had one power button that turned everything on. And that may seem okay, but the challenge is when you turn this on, the DC comes on right away, but the AC requires what's called an inverter to convert the DC that's stored in the lithium-ion batteries to AC current. And even if you're not using the outlets, it's drawing electrons out of those batteries. So being able to turn on the DC power separate from the AC means I'm going to be very conservative about pulling electrons out of those batteries and not wasting it if I haven't plugged anything in. So the way you turn the unit on is hold down the power button for a second or two. It immediately comes to life. It goes through a power on self-test and lets you know exactly how much of a charge is left in the unit. It also shows you the type of current you're drawing from the different ports on the front of the unit. Now, if you want to use the DC power, which are these outlets here, these two, and this convenience outlet, you hold the DC button down, that light will come on. These are now live, these are live, and this is live. If you want to use the AC outlets, you hold down that button, light comes on, these are now active. So I'm only going to use the DC for now, so I'll turn off the AC by holding it again, and these go dead. Now, as far as ports go, you have a lot of options over here. You have 4 standard USB-A ports that'll deliver 3 amps and 5 volts, which is a pretty high current. A lot of the units we tested only gave an amp and a half, and that may not seem like a big deal, but if you're charging some newer devices like larger phones or tablets or cameras, the more current you can provide, the faster they're going to charge. So having 3 amps for these USB-A ports is really important. Another nice touch is the USB-C PD port on top of it. If you're not familiar with PD, it's called power delivery. It's a new way of charging. It's an adaptive charging. A lot of the newer products use that. You'll connect the USB-C cable from here to your device, and you can actually fast charge that device through that port. You also have 2 more ports up here that are using 5521 connections. Those are standard DC connections. Both of those will supply 12 volts at 3 amps each. So you can plug devices in there. And you also have another outlet right here, which is a standard, we used to call them cigarette lighter outlets, but they're called convenience outlets now. And that'll supply 10 amps of current out of that to charge devices. So pretty much anything you have to connect over DC, you've got options. If you want to plug in AC right here, you have the option to use 2 of these. Now, one thing that's different about this is most of the companies out there give you 1 outlet. And you'll find that you may want to plug a couple of things in. So now you got to drag a power strip along with you. I love the fact that they've got 2 outlets, and they've also got the ability to plug in a standard 2-prong device or a 3-prong device by having the device go in here. So 2 outlets. Now, I'd mentioned before, it's a 500 watt hour unit. That's the maximum amount of current it'll hold. Don't be confused by that, because a lot of companies will say, we've got a 500 watt hour unit, but the current they're delivering is way lower than that. So with the AC here, you can draw 300 watts between the 2 outlets on a regular basis. So steady state 300 watts, 450 watts peak. So that's really close to the total 500 watt hours of capacity the unit will hold. So of all the units we've tested, that's something you want to pay attention to, because a lot of them out there will talk about it being a 500 watt hour unit, but they'll only give you maybe 100 watts out of these 2 outlets. Another key thing that's different about this and some of the other units is that all AC is not created equal. So some companies out there won't do what's called a pure sine wave. What they'll do is a modified sine wave, which kind of gives you AC, but it's more of a sawtooth pattern than it is a sinusoidal wave. And again, that may not seem like a big deal, but that can damage electronics nowadays. So you want to make sure that any unit you're looking at has that pure sine wave functionality. And I've tested that with an oscilloscope, and they're right on the money. It's a 60 cycle wave. On either side of the unit, you'll find venting and fans to keep the unit cool, because it does get a little bit warm when you're discharging. On the back of the units, where all the connections are made for charging the unit, so whether you charge it from a solar panel, from the home charger, or from the car charger, you'll plug it in right there. And again, all those connections are the same. And there's a light on the back of the unit too. So let me turn that on. I got to turn the DC on to do that. Okay, that's on. Now, if I hit the light button, it's going to be very bright. It comes on very bright first, then it comes on dimmer, and the third setting is SOS. There it is. So what we've got there is SOS. That's pretty cool. So if you're in trouble on the side of the road and you've got to change a tire, let me turn that off, and you have to change a tire, you can set this thing up right at the edge of your car and turn on that light so you can change your tire if you have to. But then if you're really in trouble, you could stay inside the car and put it on SOS, and somebody driving by, a Boy Scout like me, will recognize that as SOS, pull over and say, hey, how can we help you? So all in all, it's a pretty nice unit. Now on the bottom, you've also got rubber feet which protect it. So if you put it down on a surface, you're not going to scratch this. You've got these rubber feet that keep it elevated. It also keeps it off of a moist surface. So if you're outside, you know, and you're camping or something, these are going to raise it up a little bit off that surface to keep it nice and dry on the bottom. So overall, it's a pretty impressive unit. And those are all the connections that you need to understand. And to turn the unit off totally, just hold the power button down for a couple of seconds. It'll blink out, and that's all you need to know. I just had a few final thoughts. If you're in the market for a portable power station like this, a few things you can use to compare this one against some others you may be considering. So for starters, the capacity of the unit's really important. Like I'd mentioned earlier, it's a 500 watt hour unit, but that just tells you how much energy it can store. How much it can deliver is a different story. So in this case, 300 watt hour steady state through the AC outputs, and also 450 watts of what they call peak power. So if you've got surges when you turn on a power drill or an initial inrush of current, it'll handle 450 watts. That's really impressive for a unit of this size. I love the fact that they've got the rubber bumper on the outside. Another consideration you want to think about is how many ports do I have in the front? Because I promise you, when you're out in the wilderness and you've got kids with you or family members, everybody's going to want to plug into the unit. So if you find one of these that only has a couple of USB-A ports on the front, you're all going to be fighting for who gets to plug in what. So having 4 outlets on the front that are full-size USB-A mean they work with all of your cables that you've got today, so all your portable devices will plug in. And I think it's really nice that they built in that USB-C power delivery port, because that takes an extra circuit to deliver that kind of current to those devices that need it. So you've pretty much got everything covered you need there. You've got 2 full-size DC ports up here that you can use with a lot of cables on the market. I mentioned they're 5521 connections. There are a ton of accessory cables out there that'll turn those into connections to other devices. And you've got the courtesy outlet. So pretty much everything you need to charge is there. Another consideration is when you buy the unit, make sure you look at what's included in the kit, because all of these have to come with some type of charging unit for home. Not all of them come with the other charging cable. So if you want to charge it from your car, that may be an additional cost. If you want to charge it from a solar panel, again, an additional cost. So check the package contents before you make your purchase to make sure you get everything you need. And again, the guys at Bluetti included this cable, which I'm laughing because this is such a nice thing to put in there. I know it seems like a small deal, but that's a $14 cable in most cases. So the fact that it's built in is a really big bonus. I just like that. In general, I've been using this for, like I said, again, sorry Bluetti, I've been using it for the last 2 months, and I've used it in the field. I've charged my drone batteries, my controller, my tablet, my phone, my portable action camera. I've had a couple of power failures here at the house because we live in a kind of a rural area in New Jersey and the power goes out occasionally. So this has been on the kitchen table with a lamp lit up and everybody charging their devices off of it. It's just been a lifesaver in so many different ways. So I like it an awful lot, and I really tried hard to find something I could pick on about the unit. I couldn't find anything because I really went through it and said, okay, is that really able to deliver the kind of current they're saying it does? Is it really going to charge as fast as they say it does? And it does. Can I make a bunch of connections on the front and have them all work at the same time? They all work. So everything I need, oh, the AC, it's got pure sine wave, does it? Well, let me get the oscilloscope out and check it. Sure enough, it's pure sine wave. So everything I thought I would worry about isn't a worry on this product, and I like it an awful lot. So hopefully you found this clip helpful. Again, I've got a link below if you want to check this out. It'll take you to Amazon. You can check the specs for yourself, compare it to something else if you're in the market for one of these. But I like doing these kind of clips, and I hope you guys are finding value in them because I've got a lot more technology I'm going to review on the channel, and I'm trying to explain things that I use on a regular basis that I find interesting because I know you're all nerds out there and you're all interested in high-tech gear like I am and want to hear about it. So I've got a lot more clips coming. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button down there because we got a ton more stuff coming you're going to want to get in on. And that's pretty much it for today. So until next time, thanks again for watching and stay nerdy.